Peace, everybody. This is Brother James and my wife Nicole, and thank you for tuning in to Changing Life on the Spectrum. Today, on this PSA, we got something very important that we want to talk about. Um, and it's so important that it may be a tear jerker to a degree. I'm talking about even for us fellas. So you might want to go ahead, get some tissues real quick because we're going to be talking about something that's very deep and that we as parents of special needs children go through. So I'm going to go ahead and turn everything over to my lovely wife here, Sister Nicole.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, yes, today we're having a very real and honest and open conversation that we think many autism parents carry with them in their hearts. Today, we're going to talk about parent guilt. If you're raising a child on the autism spectrum, you know, like they say, if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are you've had moments where you've wondered, am I doing enough?
Absolutely.
Did I miss something earlier on in the journey? Am I doing it right? Should my child be further along than what they are? Those thoughts can feel really heavy. That's a very heavy burden to try to carry. And today we're sharing this conversation because this is something that actually came up recently in our own household.
Mm-hmm.
So one morning, my husband and I were talking. I think I was making my coffee, my morning coffee, as I do, because I need some energy to work with these children. So I need ask him, I
Mm.
need my coffee.
Right.
And he said something really honest. He was being vulnerable in the moment. And he said that sometimes he feels guilty, especially about our son Nasir, wondering if maybe he should be farther along in his academic journey than what he is. And that maybe he should have or could have done more to help him earlier on. And I think that in that moment, that was really important because it opened the door for conversations that many of us are just afraid to say out loud. So I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share a little bit about what you actually meant when you said that you felt that guilt?
Well, during that time, you know, Nasir is our son that's the furthest behind. Um, Ayana is pretty much quick study. She picks up things pretty quickly. She's very good at reading. She's starting to pick up in her math. Mikeel has been the one, since he's the oldest, leading the charge. So he's been growing. But Nasir was always the one that was the furthest behind, even to the point that one morning we actually had to have a conversation with all three children because I can't remember who it was, but somebody was saying that they knew or they felt like Nasir had autism, but they didn't feel like they themselves had autism. So in other words, even from their own perspective, they could see that their brother was further behind in them. He wasn't picking up things quite as fast. Um, and besides being a supreme actor, which he is that, a supreme actor, he really didn't show out as much, what's the word I'm looking for? he didn't show his qualities forth past that yet, where where the other two had advanced.
Even though they actually are autistic as well,
Right.
diagnosed autistic as well.
And that particular morning, I think it was because of his reading, because we're having a hard time getting him further in reading. It's like if you read to him, then he can go through stuff.
Mhm.
But if you try to leave him to read on his own, it's a lot of hit and miss. He's famous for just hitting buttons
Mhm.
until he gets whatever is supposed to be right.
You mean you're talking about the online curriculum that we use,
Right.
the questions.
The questionnaires that he goes through. Um, so because of that, I was definitely in my mind at that moment, just thinking about, man, I should have read more with him. Um, I should have just stayed on it. And this, that, and the other was going through my mind. And so I was asking Nicole, like, wow, do you really, I feel like I didn't do enough. And even though I know the reality is, yes, there could have been more time that I could have put in. But when you have three children on the spectrum, then it becomes much harder to really focus and try to stay with just one child. I work with him the most, but I still have to try to be looking out for the other two, especially Ayana, since she's the youngest, and she's also the one who asks the most questions all day, every day.
And there's some jealousy
Yes. So,
on Ayana's part. She wants to know, why is daddy working with Nasir so much more when I need help? I may not need the same help, but I need help. So,
it just became a hard thing of balance. But again, that's why we're talking about it. There's a guilt that's gonna I don't want to say it's always going to be there, but I can't say it won't always be there because of the fact that even as you begin to learn, that your children learn when they're on the spectrum. It doesn't matter how much you put into it, doesn't matter how much therapy, this, that, and the other, until it clicks, you're not going to be able to change when it clicks. It's all on them when it clicks. But that's one of the hardest things to come to grips with because I'll say, especially from a male perspective, we generally are the ones that push. We want our children to be ready for the world, and we want to constantly push them, push them, push them. And it becomes very hard when they're not moving as fast as you want or you expect. And even when I say that, I'm not even talking about what the educational paradigm says. I'm saying even of what you know of your child. And you're like, no, no, we just went through this because, he got all these answers right
mhm,
and blah, 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 and so as sin, again, as a man, it's like we're gonna move forward. So it's hard when those relapses happen.
right.
And that's when your anger can come out. And that's when you can begin to think that the children, are they playing me? I don't know. This time I think they're playing me a little bit because,
Yeah.
I think they're taking advantage of the situation. And it's hard to really understand that.
But also, it can be confusing because there are times when clearly we know that he can read because he can make his way around a computer and find what he wants and online on the internet find what he wants quickly. He
Right.
can get the things and get back to things quickly. So he knows even when there's no picture involved. He's looking at words and he knows those words. So when some of the same words come up during his daily work and he's acting like he doesn't know, it can be very confusing for us. And I know that with autism, it can be sometimes hard for them to recall
Mhm.
certain information. Even though they know it, it can be hard, especially if they feel under duress or under stress. It can be hard for them to recall that information and then act on it.
And we've not only just through trial and error, but also study, we have began to understand, yes, there are different parts of the brain that control different things. So even though they've learned something, there's still a recognitive process that might slip, and but we don't really understand it. So it definitely can get confusing. It gets hard. You're um, trying to figure out, how do I judge myself and where my child is? What do I do to push forward? Because fellas, I'll definitely tell you, it's hard to escape the yelling part, but we have to learn to bring it down and kind of, still be stern, but in a quieter voice. You'll get a lot more done. But even with that, you have to be able to kind of learn your child, read your child, and sometimes you're gonna have to accept it that, it ain't gonna work. They're gonna do what they're gonna do because that's what children do.
Yes.
And that's a whole another thing that'll be another episode. But we wanted to really talk about this because this is what can lead us as parents into depression, where we get down on ourselves, or especially if you are married, you can get down on each other.
Mm-hmm.
You can stop talking to a degree because that guilt can begin to make you look at the other person like, I don't know, I don't want to say nothing because, see, I know it's going to blah, 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 but I'm really feeling like this, blah, 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 but I don't want to say nothing because she already going through it. And so I don't want to add to it. And you know what I mean? You'll go through a lot of different things, but we're here to tell you, you have to learn how to talk. You're going to have to communicate. There's no ifs, ands, buts, and maybes about it. You got to learn to talk to your spouse. You got to learn to talk to yourself, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to learn how to talk to the children. So that's what was going on that morning,
Yeah.
is that I was just really looking at Nasir, and like my wife was just saying, he can read because he'll sit there and he'll tell you, I want to watch so and so and so and so. And if you show him the words, he knows the words because we've done that with him, where he can pick out. He knows what's one of the ones that you had the cards for.
YouTube.
He knows, yeah, he definitely knows YouTube. He knows YouTube
YouTube.
well.
Pete the cat.
He knows Pete the cat. I'm talking about if he just sees the sentence, not a picture, but just the words,
Yep.
he can pick it out. He knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But again, now we're grappling with the fact of, okay, so what am I doing wrong? How do I build on that?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? How do I get him to that next level where he can read the whole sentence by himself, not giving any cues, because as he's doing his work, you can tell he can follow it, and he's saying the words. If you tell him say the words, and especially do it with him, he can say the words. So now it's trying to figure out, okay, where is the issue that he can't put it all together,
Yeah.
you know? Um, and so that's pretty much what was going through my mind that morning is, did I drop the ball? Did I not read enough with him? I need to spend enough time. I mean, we're trying to do some um leapfrog learning with him, where they have the book, but it has this little pen that you can hit the words, and so he can read with the pen.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying that out. That's hit or miss to a degree. It depends on how he feels that morning. Sometimes he likes it, sometimes he ain't. I ain't trying to hit that
You
today,
have to
Dad.
catch him at the right
You
day,
have
at
to
the
catch him
right
at the right
time.
time.
Right. Move.
And I'm sure most of us as parents of autistic children, especially, we know that.
Mhm.
We know that.
I want to just go back for a second. You mentioned yelling.
Mhm.
It can be very challenging to try to regulate a child that's dysregulated when you yourself as a parent are dysregulated. So, that's just challenge above challenge. And in our family, we have yet another layer in that I am also neurodivergent because I have ADHD. So my brain thinks differently than my husband's brain. So he's dealing with three children with autism and ADHD. I think some people refer to it as odd HD, AUD HD. Um, and I have ADHD. So I can somewhat sympathize with where the children are coming from in some cases not, because neurodivergence is not a one size fits all situation.
Mhm.
So, you know, sometimes I'm able to talk to my husband and help him see things in a different way. Now, I may not always be right because, again, neurodivergence is not one size fits all. But because sometimes I am dysregulated. So, you know, we're not perfect. We're parents.
Right. And there's no handbook that comes with each child that you could study and be like, aha, all right, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's what's going to happen. Now I know how to deal with it. But or, or one of the big major things of our guilt is when we run into those issues that we have no idea how to fix. That's when it really turns up in our own heads because now it's like, oh my God, what can I do? What am I supposed to do? I'm not even sure where to start. I
Yeah.
don't know why this is happening. Why are they doing this? So you go through that whole thing of first you're upset, you might even be angry, but then you calm down, you're trying to think through it, but you have no idea where to even start.
Trial and error.
Yes, and then you go and the trial and error makes you feel better a little bit, but then it's still the guilt of I missed.
Yes. Now, while Mikeel and Ayana are getting older, they are starting to be able to, they are improving in their communication and communicating what's working and what's not. Nasir, on the other hand, while he is verbal, he cannot yet fully communicate those things to us. He will show us in his behavior, um, but he cannot uh, put that into words just yet.
And so that obviously that brings about some hardships, some issues. Again, you're not exactly sure, am I yelling at him too much? Should I really be getting upset? Am I letting him slide too much? Because it seems like he can pick it up, but he's really in that child phase of I just want to feel like I want to do what I want to do. So it it
I
gets
don't
really
feel like it's really yelling, though. I feel like you're trying to convey to him in a firm way,
Mhm.
what you need him to do.
Well,
And sometimes it works, and sometimes he rebels against it.
again, the male perspective is push forward. The male perspective is what's the goal? Let's get there. And unfortunately, a lot of times as men, we don't necessarily think about the nurturing part, but so much. We just like, look, get it done. Let's get it done. Where we need to go. Look, they said that, according to the school guidelines, we got to blah, 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 blah. Let's push forward. Let's push forward. Let's push forward. And
Mhm.
learning to regulate that again is something that leads us to that parent guilt because you're not sure if you're pushing too hard. You're not sure if you're pushing too little. You're looking at deadlines, but then as some of the things that Nicole has posted online, that causes issues too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we're putting undue pressure that, as she said earlier, their brains can't handle that. They're already somewhat unregulated, so we're just adding more
Mhm.
to it.
Right.
So now you're really struggling trying to figure out what is the balance for this,
Right.
you know, and it can definitely make you second guess yourself
Yeah, yeah.
a lot.
So I think with what you said, what we both said, is something that many parents feel, especially when raising autistic children
Hmm.
or homeschooling them, even because when your child develops differently, the timeline looks different. And, you know, like you said, we start to compare, to other children, even the other children within our household,
Right.
to what we thought life should or could have looked like, um, or even what professionals say should be happening. And that comparison, again, just like you said, creates a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. And as we know, our special children do not, their brains do not work well under pressure, you know.
Mhm.
So, um, I think one of the things that we've had to learn as parents is that the guilt comes from love because we love them and we want to see them prosper. We want to see them thrive. We want to see them do their best.
Absolutely.
And it comes from caring very deeply about your children.
Hmm.
But guilt can trick us into believing something that's not true, just not true, or that we somehow failed our children. Again, that's not true. We are all doing the best that we can do. And so I truly believe that's not the case. That we're doing the best we can. And as long as we're doing our best, we're helping our children progress forward. So I got another question for you.
And what's that?
When you think about Nasir now,
Hmm.
what are some things that you see in him that reminds you that he's growing in his own way?
Well, I guess because I've had to work with Nasir so much, we have a connection where I can tell when he's growing. There's something he might say, there's something he might do, and it'll strike me as, wait a minute, he just grew a little bit. He just hit a milestone. Um, for instance, when he started taking himself to the bathroom without saying anything to him. We had to start off, as my wife suggested, you try to take him at the same time and this, that, the other. But it got to the point he would run to the bathroom by himself and wouldn't say anything to me. I got to keep telling him, look, you gotta let me know what's going on. Also, when he started being able to do things on the computer that the other two can't do, he's figured out some stuff that they haven't figured out yet.
Yes.
That's when I definitely knew, oh, he's progressing. He's getting there. And
Mhm.
then in his language, he has gotten to a point now where he can express himself more. Not necessarily fully, but more. Because now he can really say things to me. And sometimes I must admit it is a little hurtful. Because sometimes our children tell you some stuff and you be like, what? No, you didn't.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
And ever since birth, God told me that he would be a great protector. And he is highly protective of his sister. Don't say nothing that he deems wrong to
Or
her
threatening.
or threatening to her. He will be right here
And he will tell you
and will tell you, and he might threaten you.
to leave his sister alone.
And he does not back down.
Even if she is in the wrong,
Right.
complete wrong.
And even if she's using him, as she has a tendency to do sometimes,
Hmm.
he still protects his baby sister. And so I've seen that grow, like I said, to the point that he will stand up to me and be like, no, no,
He
you're not,
stands
you're
up
not,
for
you will
both of
not
us.
hurt Nana. No, 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 stop yelling. He speaks his mind But he's still a very calm, cool. We call him Mr. Cool, and he's always been like that. We
Yeah.
call him Cool Hand Luke because he just laid back. He just watched what's going on, and he just chills,
Hmm.
you know. So I've seen him grow a lot. Um, I've seen him learn, you know, just like he's learned. Oh,
Today is Thursday, March 12th. It is 6. My bad.
Dad is on the computer because Dad said he got to work. So he might leave me alone for a minute, but he loves his what do they call it? 15 seconds of fame.
Oh, yes.
He will run in here at a certain point. Make sure he put his face on the camera
Hmm.
to whoever I'm maybe working with at the time. And then I gotta tell him to leave and he'll roll out. So he's learning.
Yes.
And that's the thing. You do have to celebrate the little things. That's one way to combat the guilt. Make sure that you're paying attention to when your child does grow in whatever way, however small or big it may be. Celebrate it. Let some of that guilt come off because they are growing. We are the ones that kind of have to come to grips with how fast, because they're going to grow as fast as they can grow, as well as it is on us to try to help inspire them, to help give them the way, the technique to get there, but it's still all on them in the end, as it is as an adult, you know? But, and we have to begin to really look at it from that perspective.
Yes. Um, I think sometimes we measure progress only through the academic. I think sometimes we measure progress only through academic skills or traditional milestones. But when I look at Nasir, I see progress in so many other ways. Like um, a couple of years ago, I tried taking them, all three of them, by myself to the farmer's market. And Nasir just took off. I was so afraid, so afraid. Um, but I was able to use all the strength I had plus the strength I didn't have to get him in the car and get him home. He was very upset. He just wanted to run wild. So I became very afraid of taking him out on my own. And so for a while, we went out together occasionally and we would stay in the car. So we would go for rides. Then one day, something told me, try taking him in the market. So we had a long talk before we went to the market. We had a long talk in the car as well. And so I prepared him. I said, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to get. This is how we're going to act when we go in the market.
Mhm.
And he did superbly.
Right. I
He
remember
did
that.
excellent. I was so proud of my
He
baby.
was pushing the cart.
He was pushing the cart. He was saying hello to people. He was very friendly, some a little bit overly friendly in some cases, but
Mm.
everybody was fine with it. It put a smile on some people's faces that he was, spreading his joy. So I can definitely see how he's grown very much so in that respect. He also used to throw his toys outside the window.
Mm.
His toys, his socks, his shirts, his pajamas. He's not doing that anymore. So that's also a sign of growth.
Well, we'll just say not as much. But go ahead.
um, I've also seen his joy. I often will tell my husband, Nasir is living his best life. He is just so happy right now.
Hmm.
He is living his best life. So it's great to see him have those joyful moments. He also is doing a lot of imaginative play with his sister, which he didn't used to do that. And they actually play together. It's not just parallel play. He's actually playing and interacting with her and doing some role plays and things like that. So
Hmm.
it's very good to see that. So I've seen him grow in a lot of ways that are not measured through academics or milestones, but I can see him maturing. And that's what's and he's potty trained. He is fully potty trained.
Hmm.
It took until he was, what would you say?
Oh, what's he, 11?
He's 11. So yeah, it took until he was 11.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and 11,
It was a
somewhere in
lot
there.
of hard work,
Hmm.
but he is fully potty trained. He was the last one. He is fully potty trained, and we are so proud of him. You cannot measure that
Right.
through academics or traditional milestones. You just can't. So, um, I I just can't. I'm so happy because that was a lot to have to deal with.
Yes. I mean, he definitely has come a long way. Um, and that takes, again, that does take away some of the guilt. Some of the guilt is still going to be there because, again, like with his reading and other stuff, he hasn't quite gotten there. But the bright point is that by seeing him come up in all the other things, it's like, okay, I truly believe he's going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I, as a father, I really strive to stay in tune with my children, and I kind of know where they really can be, even though they haven't gotten there yet. Because some places they haven't gotten only because they try to hear it right now,
Mm-hmm.
or as with all children, they feel better doing this than that. But even with that, one thing my mother has always made us understand is she's always saying, but isn't that what every child does? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
every child, don't we, as even adults, don't we go through this, that, and the other? She always brings it back down to be like, oh, no, this actually is more normal than what you might think, because we're all experiencing this and then having to deal with it. So they're doing the same thing. They're figuring their way through. They have their way of learning, and that's why grandma made it a point to make her house the nurturing ground
Mm-hmm.
where everybody can go and get rest. The children generally shoot off into their different directions. Each one has their own little spot that they generally go to.
Mm-hmm.
She always makes sure they have toys, but grandma stays in tune with her grandbabies. Don't
Yeah.
mess with her grandbabies now.
Yes.
And she's paying attention, and then she'll pull us up
Right.
and be like, well, are you thinking about this? Well, what about that? What do they need?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'll get them this. I'll get that. And then she reads to them every other week
On Zoom.
on Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
which was something major for her because she don't like necessarily to be on Zoom. But if it's about her grandbabies, she's cool with it. And she loves the fact that she can talk to them, they can see her, she can see them.
And she tested their comprehension. She asked them questions
Yes, she does.
about what was read. And they also we get time to tell her something new or something new that they learned or
Yes.
something like that. So they all get their one-on-one time. But you know what? I want to add too. Nasir was in school. He was in early intervention from the age of 3
Hmm.
in public school till the beginning of first grade. I would say like 2 months in.
Yeah, I think so.
And in all of that time, the certified teachers, along with the paraprofessionals and the specialists,
Hmm.
were not able to get him to read either.
Mm,
He reads more now
right,
than he read with all of those professionals in that amount of time.
right, right. Yeah, we're still working on his writing skills too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still working on that. But again, he can recognize words. Like I said,
We
if
also
you
got him eating with utensils. Well,
right.
actually, Ayana got him eating with utensils. He thought she was using utensils, and he was like, "What? I can do that too."
Right.
So, um, because Ayana is on the lower end of the autism spectrum, She doesn't have quite as many struggles as he does.
Hmm.
Um, so he started looking up to her. He was in a self-contained classroom. So there were a lot of other children who were also behind.
Hmm.
So I think in one sense, when we were forced to be home with COVID, being around Ayana, who was progressing a little bit faster than him, actually helped him progress as well because he saw her as a peer
Right. Right. Yes, that
and
is
also
true.
helped him talk more, communicate more. They have conversations back and forth.
Right.
Because when she gets bored and we're busy, she wants somebody to talk to. And she gonna talk to Nasir. Even if she gets on his nerves, he's getting on her nerves. She gonna talk.
This is true. This is true.
So
But we're talking about the parent guilt.
yes, let's
But
get back to
we're
that.
trying to help everybody to understand paying attention to these things, and as we've said from episode one, having your tribes can help you get through the guilt. My mother does a lot of that because again, she keeps us grounded. She's interactive with the children.
Right.
She's not judgmental of the children. But she's very fine-tunedly watching what they're doing, and then she'll tell us the progress that she sees that
Yes.
we might not see.
Right. Because we're under that pressure. We feel we put that extra layer of pressure on ourselves that like their everything, their whole world depends on us.
Right.
And like you said, we have to have that village because otherwise, when we see our children struggle, we're going to go back to that thinking. Did we teach it the right way? Did we start early enough? Did we miss something? But honestly, every child, whether or not they
That's
have special needs or not, learns differently. And especially with autism, it means that the development is going to happen in its own timeline.
right. And again, that's one of the things to fight your guilt. Fully realize, do as much as you can, but always remember it's not going to click for them until it clicks for them. No matter what you do, it's still going to be about them. And like my mother said, that's how it is with everybody. No matter what the situation is, adult or child, it clicks when it clicks. And
Mhm.
then, haha, oh, okay. And then you move forward. So, we just want to make sure that everybody learns to look at the situation the right way. Don't destroy yourself because remember, the children do need you. And they need you to be upbeat because they can tell. Any child can tell when their parent is starting to go down. And sometimes they'll even start asking you, "Are you okay? You okay, Daddy? Is something wrong?" Because
Mhm.
they can feel it.
Yeah, that
So,
fear is very sensitive to that.
yes. So you have to just try to stay as even keel as possible and understand I'm going to do as much as I can,
Mhm.
but also understand, look, even if you can find some of the things for the trial and error. Understand every autistic child is an autistic child.
Right.
So what works for ours may not work for yours. So you're going to have to exercise patience
And trial and error.
and trial and error. And one of the things that I said from the beginning, allow your child, study your child so your child can teach you how to teach them.
Yes.
I'll say that one more time. Study your child so your child can teach you how to teach them. That's
Mhm.
how Mikeel started to get forward. I began to understand how he was teaching me. Okay, like one of the first things that he taught me is they learn better when you give them options. Not necessarily do what I said, and because I said it, you do it.
Mhm.
But if you give them the option, knowing that you still control the option,
Mhm.
then and you make both options work anyway, because they don't
Mhm.
necessarily know, then things work better because they love to make the choice themselves.
Yes.
That makes them feel better. So that was the first thing that Mikeel taught me, but I learned it from watching him and how he reacted to the things that I would say or do. And then it says, ding, oh, he works better if you give him a choice.
Hmm.
He feels better about himself, and he's more inclined to just go ahead and do it and follow through.
Yeah.
So study your child and take the cues that they give you. Don't, because you're the parent, I know we feel like, they should just do what we say. No, not even for the typical child.
Right.
Learn them. It's better to learn them and then work with the framework that they give you
Yeah.
as best you can. And then you'll find yourself helping them to improve with the least amount of resistance. And then that makes you feel better because
Right.
now you're not, oh my God.
I want to say something about one thing you said, the typical child. Is it truly a typical child? I mean, I know there's the term neurotypical,
Mhm.
but I know the school system tries to shove everyone, every child into this box and say, this is how you should learn, and this is what you should learn, and when you should learn it. But is there truly such a thing as a typical child?
Well, I guess if we say that every child is different, then I guess you can't say that every child is different because
Right.
every child is different.
Right.
So if we're going to go from that logic, then no. Now you could say there's an average.
Mm, yeah.
The average amount of children do this if
Mm-hmm.
we do that.
Right.
Okay.
Mm,
But at the same time, even within the school system, you got some children that learn faster than others.
true.
Some children that can pick up algebra just like that.
True.
Other children, it's gonna be a minute
Yeah.
before they really grasp the ideas and are able to work with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I will say this, and this is gonna sound strange, but by working with our autistic children, we've learned a lot.
Hmm.
But these are things that actually should cover all children. Every parent should be studying their child. And like I said, letting their child help them to see how to train the child
Hmm.
instead of just trying to make it our box. You do it this way. You got to be open and be like, okay, let me see. Let me sit back. I'm gonna try. Let me try. Let me try. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I see. I see.
Yeah.
See, now he's the one that all I got to do is say it once and he'll
Hmm.
do it. She's the one that's going to combat me every step of the way. But if I've learned how she thinks, I can speak into how she thinks and she'll, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think of it kind of it. I make an analogy of like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Bread, cakes, pancakes, they all have similar ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the same ingredients. But depending on how you cook them,
Mm-hmm.
they react in a different way. And depending on the measurements, one has a little bit of salt, one doesn't. One has a little bit of sugar, one doesn't, or may have a lot less. You know, depending on how you put the ingredients together and the pressure or heat applied for how long or how short depends on how it comes up.
Right.
Depends on what the end product is. Doesn't mean that one is better or less than the other. It just is. It's just different.
And the other thing we want to mention is that parent guilt is not just for children who have autism and their families. Parent guilt is every parent, if you
Mm-hmm.
really know how to look at it.
Right.
Every parent has a guilt of some sort because we have ideas of what we want our children to be like, and without a lot of training, when they don't hit that, we're going to obviously blame ourselves
Mm-hmm.
because you can't blame the child. The child only knows what you teach it.
Right.
So we want you to share this with everybody
Yes.
Share it with everybody because there's something to learn for everyone. And every parent is feeling some type of guilt, whether it be because of lack of money, lack of resources, or even if you have the resources, but things you're trying to figure out, well, why is my child running around? I don't understand. We
Mhm.
give them everything. Yeah, all of us are trying to figure this thing out. Again, there's no SOP that comes along with your child when they come out of the womb. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we want everybody to understand, keep an open mind.
Yeah.
And you gotta really, again, just study your child.
Yes.
And try not. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Understand that the creator created your child for a reason. When you understand that and you start asking for that reason, and then ask for the creator's help to guide the child
Mhm.
into that reason, things will be better. Some of the stuff that we do is because we want to make a child into what we want it to be. But
Yeah.
that could be directly opposed to what it's actually made to be, and that's going to cause friction.
Yeah.
So it's better to kind of step back. Again, study your child. Your child, no matter what the circumstances, is going to show that it excels in something. It has to, because it has an aim and a purpose. It's going to excel in something. As I said earlier, Nasir is an actor and a half because he studies videos and will act out even without after he's watched it a few times, he can act out the scenes himself and play the different characters too,
Hmm.
and even get that the body motion, everything in that he saw.
Because he
He,
studies.
right,
He will rewind it back 50 million
yeah,
times.
I know a lot of us know about that part, but so I'm just saying that to say, start to remember to look at your child as they have their own aim and purpose, and that it's your job to help bring that out. That'll cut down on a lot of the guilt and a lot of the stuff that ends up happening. Because
Yes.
when we just try to make the child into whatever we want to be, again, that can cause some unnecessary friction.
Right.
Was there anything else, babe?
Just if you are watching this and you're feeling that parent guilt, we want you to know that you loving them matters.
Hmm.
Your patience matters. Your efforts matter. Your presence with them matters. Your persistence, your resilience, all of that matters. Helping them know that you're there and making them feel safe.
Hmm.
We can't create a perfect outcome for them or any other child, but creating a safe and supportive environment where your child can grow into who they're meant to be,
Hmm.
that's that's what we're here for. That's what our children need.
So again, be careful how you judge yourself. Study the children, and as you begin to see their aim and purpose come out of them,
Mhm.
like for instance, and we're about to bring back the Mikeel reel and Ayana's reading nook, I believe.
On the Mikeel Real channel,
Right.
YouTube channel.
On the Mikeel reel YouTube channel. We're going to bring that back. But we did that because of the fact that we wanted to allow them to express their gifts to other children so where they
Mhm.
could see it and other children can see it. And but we noticed that the children were doing certain things. We noticed that Ayana loves to read and she can read not only with enthusiasm, but you know what I mean? She can make a story come off the pages if she wants to. And Mikeel is definitely into, well, he was into drawing and things of that nature at first, but then once he got on the computer and got onto Minecraft, I mean, that was his thing. So we allowed them to grow in the ways that they were showing us that this is what we love to do, Dad. we're still trying to figure Nasir's out. That's the only reason why he doesn't really have one yet, is we haven't figured out exactly what he can do and how to bring it out, so to speak. But
Mhm.
by doing so, we're allowing them to grow.
Yes.
It's definitely helping them to become the people that they're born to be.
Yeah. Helping them to go on their own path in their
Mhm,
own time. It's not our role to force them into someone else's timeline.
mhm.
Our role is to walk beside them, support them in any way that we can, and celebrate every step forward. No matter how small it may seem to someone else, those things matter. So even the little things are big things in their world.
Right, right. So was there anything else that you wanted to mention, baby? Or shall we tell them about the energy enhancement system that we got coming for?
I think you should do that.
Okay. So after we had spoke about this and we decided that we wanted to do the PSA, we also decided, since we are partnered with House of Healing Light, that we wanted to make a system. It's part of our energy enhancement system at House of Healing Light. And what it is it's a system to give you certain types of energies to help you deal with the guilt from parenting, to parenting period, but especially from those of us who have to deal with the issues that come up from having a family dealing with autism. And so we took different crystals and their energies and put them into a system where first we give you the energy, but then we show you how to use it so that you'll have more energy to combat the guilt, those things that cause the guilt. For instance, we use amethyst, which alleviates stress and anxiety when dealing with the pressures of raising children. Moonstone, which is grounding and provides calming during chaotic home situations, helping you to keep your composure, trying not to let your anger get the best of you. Um, Rhodonite, which is focus for self forgiveness. Oh, that's a huge one.
Mhm.
That's a huge one. You got to be able to forgive yourself, people. And releasing past mistakes to help move past regret. Yes, we had to add that energy in there. Sodalite, the most powerful crystal for dissolving guilt, fear, and self-punishment. And it helps to bridge the gap between the heart and the mind, bringing clarity and calmness to a rowdy mind. Because sometimes we can end up being all over the place and blaming ourselves for everything and so on and so forth. Those are just a few of the crystals that will come in the program that um we're going to give you a taste of it. We're going to give you a taste of it for about 2 minutes just to let you feel it. And then after the 19th, it'll be up on House of Healing Light's website under Energy Enhancement System.
And that's March 19th.
I'm sorry, March 19th. I don't, I'm still trying to deal with some things. Time has really been slipping here with me in here lately. Um, but it'll be something that it'll be a monthly fee, but you'll have access to the energy, so you'll be able to use it, you know, as much as recommended, because obviously this is something that's not going to go away. You know what I mean? Especially since there's a good chance that some of our children may be with us for even a portion of their adult age. Okay, so we're gonna give you 1 to 2 minutes. So everybody just sit back, relax. I'm going to need to ask you to say that you accept the energy from me. I'm going to be giving you the ethereal crystal energy. And I'm going to say each crystal energy that I'm going to use because I want you to know. I'll give it to you for a couple of minutes and then we'll end it. All right. So if you want, you can close your eyes, just sit someplace, relax, and just enjoy the energy. Ethereal crystal amethyst to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal black tourmaline to everybody who sees this video. Ethereal crystal moonstone to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal rhodonite to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal aquamarine to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal smoky quartz to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal sodalite to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal rose quartz to everyone who sees this video. Ethereal crystal labradorite to everyone who sees this video. Now again, say you accept the energy and just let it flow through you for the next 2 minutes. Just keep yourself calm and relaxed. Let it come in, just flow to you. And let it do its work.
Mhm.
And give you 1 more minute. All right. Close everyone off who watches this video. Cut all energy ties. All right. So that was just a sample of what you will get after March 19th. It'll be up at houseofhealinglight.com under the energy enhancement system. So is there anything that you want to close out with or you want me to close out? Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Well, before you close out, I just want to say if this resonated with you, um, please share it with someone else who might need to hear this. And if you're part of the autism parenting community, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Um, if you could tell us, have you ever experienced parent guilt? And if so, what helped you get through it? We look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely. So that's going to end our PSA. We hope that you learned something, gained something from this. We hope that the energy found you and you were able to get some of that stuff taken off of you. You feel better. Now you're ready to get back into the fight. And we just, once again, just say, love yourself. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Understand you can do what you can do and just love your children, love yourself, study them, and just do the best that you can do. So, with that, we're going to say
Peace.
peace.